we go. All right, so I am in the dungeon. That's my dog in the background, always wanting to be a part of the conversation. So I'm going to try to do like a little Q&A section here for my YouTube channel as well. Just way it's not always just, here's a workout video, here's what I eat in a day. Because all of that tends to get boring, and though I feel like there's teachable moments within there, asking or addressing direct questions is going to be probably much more beneficial than you watching me work out and you watching me eat. So one question that I get often that I feel like I should take the time to address today is when you should refeed. Now, there's a lot of terms that have, I guess you can say, blossomed from the fitness industry that tend to be used sometimes inappropriately, which means that oftentimes people think refeed is like a cheat day and so on and so forth. So for, I guess you can say, the sake of argument and to have like clear terms, that way there's no confusion, we will define what a refeed day is. So a refeed day is basically a designated day, couple days, maybe even a week, where your total macros are raised to a level to elicit a positive adaptation. And what are those positive adaptations? Well, one of the things that happens from prolonged dieting is that your thyroid function starts to go down, your sex hormones start to go down, your ability to recover starts to go down. And obviously said we want to be constantly adapting in a positive manner as much as we can, but like I said, fat loss is a catabolic process, and through a long period of time, it will start to drag the whole system down with it. So what a refeed is basically is this sort of, like I said, designated period where we're going to raise your carbohydrates, your protein, maybe even your fat too as well. And the reason why this is different from a cheat day, because a cheat day is just, for a lot of people, I think I'm just going to eat a lot that day. And though that may or may not be helpful, the thing is there's no exactness to it. So when I program refeeds for myself and for my clients, I take into consideration like how much were they eating before. Like if this is somebody who has dieted down to a point where they're literally at 2,000 calories, and let's say they're a 210-pound male and they're starting to feel like the ill effects of that, I'm not going to bump them up to 8,000 calories. And like I said, if I say go eat an extra large pizza, go to a buffet, people can easily do that. And, this runs the risk of you actually adding a little bit of body fat from that cheat day. And that's also not productive. So for somebody like that, usually we'll look at what their maintenance calories are, which for a 210-pound male can be anywhere between 28 to 3,200 calories. And usually you don't want to go 50% above that. So the highest that person will probably go on that refeed day is 3,500 calories. And like I said, they can do that for multiple days. It really just depends on a lot of things. But like I said, the main reason is to kind of counteract the ill effects that come from prolonged dieting. There's a psychological element too as well. However, you can run into that in either situation, because sometimes people, when they have a refeed day, they're psychologically like, oh my God, I cheated, and things like that. So where should those calories be coming from? Well, ideally, I would like it to come from carbohydrates for various reasons. Number one, carbohydrates are going to replenish glycogen stores, which probably at this point in time throughout their dieting process is probably low. They're working on the low end of levels, so we want to make sure they're topped off. And we know that the muscle tissue can carry at least 400 grams of stored glycogen. The liver can carry at least 100. So we're looking at least 2,000 calories in glycogen just there. We also want to drive up thyroid function. Carbohydrates is very effective at doing that. We want to make sure that their protein, it doesn't necessarily need to be higher. I would much rather them get more carbs during this period. And then I will only raise the fat minimally, like I said, because like it's like this balancing act, between like how much fat and how much carbs you're doing. So obviously you don't want to have a lot of carbs and a lot of fat, because obviously that will be, a recipe for, not inherently, but for some fat gain. So we want to make sure that if we're going to raise up one, we either keep it at, a certain level or raise it up just modestly, not too much. Now, how long do you refeed for? So what I typically do is like when they stop losing weight or when the weight goes up very slightly. Because what happens is somebody will refeed, and then what they'll notice is the next day they'll actually drop a little bit of weight. I don't know why this happens, but it does. I mean, sometimes people propose that it's the reduction in stress hormones and various other things. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But routinely, I have seen this occur. And let's say they do another refeed day. The next day, their weight goes down. I'm going to keep refeeding them until their weight stops going down, or at least where it kind of just reaches a baseline. And then you check in with your client, how you're feeling, things like that. You know, how's your energy levels? How's your sleep? Various other things like that, because we also want to look at the individual, not just like their weight, how they're looking. We want to know how they're feeling as well. So that's basically what a refeed is in a nutshell. You can do a single day, a 2-day, a multi-day, even a weekly refeed, or a refeed that basically lasts a week. And there are some utility in that. It's not just something that you arbitrarily do. And you want to make sure that your client has indeed hit a wall. So for me, typically, I don't even entertain, for myself personally, the idea of a refeed until I've at least stick to a diet for 8 weeks. The reason being is because obviously dieting sucks. It's easy to blame, oh, I need a refeed. My weight slows down because, you know, anybody that's been in this game, I've been a coach for nearly 2 decades. It's not as linear as you would want it to be. Sometimes it goes like your weight loss is really good and then all of a sudden it just starts to plateau. Weight loss is really good. Plateau, I mean, actually should be going down. But anyways, you get the point. So we can't always just assume this person needs a refeed. They just need to be patient and they just need to keep dieting, you know. There's times where you're just like, yeah, this person needs a refeed. That's when you know that like the dieting fatigue is setting in psychologically. They're starting to feel it. It hurts. Their training is starting to be negatively impacted. Their recovery is negatively impacted. Their sleep is negatively impacted. You want to look at the whole gamut. You know, and obviously, if you're a fitness competitor, you're going to have more bad days than good days, especially the deeper you get into a prep, even with pharma involved. But for the most part, if you're just a lifestyle client or somebody who just wants to be in relatively good shape, these are strategies that you can use pretty regularly to accommodate your lifestyle while still maintaining a healthy weight. And what I mean by that is that you can still include foods that you like you diet really well from, you know, Monday through Friday. You have a little bit of a high calorie day on Saturday, a moderate calorie day on Sunday, and then you're back on it on Monday. So it's not really a big issue. You're kind of have this check and balance system in and of itself. And for the most part, what I found is when people do eat more, their appetites tend to auto-regulate as well, where they'll inherently just not want to eat as much. Unless they have really bad eating habits and a really poor relationship with food, then like I said, that's far outside the scope of what I can teach you in a video. But anyways, that's what refeeds are. That's what you use them for. Hope everybody enjoyed this. I probably won't get a refeed until I get below 200 because right now I'm about 208. Things are looking good. Dieting fatigue is not high at all. Food focus is starting to increase. That's where you think about food a little bit more, but it's not significant. So I can go 4 hours without eating and I'm not going to lose my mind. Ask me when I'm below 200, food focus is probably going to be extremely high. So I'll make sure to check in with everybody then. Anyways, that was the video. Everyone take care and have a great day.